Fine.
Hi, Bailey.
Oh, hey, it's Bailey.
No.
Bailey,
You guys didn't see her?
we're gonna read a play.
I told Alfie to
Okay.
join, but he said he eating.
Well, he can eat on the thing. Whatever.
Go.
We are reading this 14.
Okay.
We're gonna look at, it's a drama, it's a little play. We're gonna look at what Mrs. Pringle hopes to get out of the dinner party. Brian is Mrs. Horace Pringle, a woman of fashion.
Yeah.
I'm Elaine, unless Bailey, you want to be Elaine, her debutante daughter.
You can be Elaine.
I can be Elaine. And then Marshawn is Dunham, the butler or maid. You're the butler. Scene. So this, can you guys see my cursor or am I just pointing at nothing?
Yes.
can
see.
Yeah.
Okay, so this section right here sets the scene. This is like the setting, the exposition. So it helps us understand where we are and what's happening. So the dining room of a New York residence. Stop me, like, do you guys have the little hand raising thingy? Do you know how to do that?
Yes.
This?
Yeah, that thing, Ariel. If you have a question and you're like, I don't know what that means, please raise your hand. Quit drawing on my thing, though.
Sorry.
That's okay. I fixed it. Oh yeah, just raise your little hands. Okay. I don't want this. A long table running from left to right with a chair at each end and 6 chairs on each side is set elaborately for 14. So she's got like this dining room table and there's 6 chairs along one side and 6 chairs on the other side and 1 at each end. You follow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dunham, the butler, is hovering over the table to give it a few finishing touches as Mrs. Pringle comes in. She is a woman of fashion, handsome, and wears a very lovely evening gown. Handsome means she's good looking. She is rather excitable in temperament, but with capable and executive, vivacious, and humorously charming. So vivacious, if we clicked on that, means attractively, lively, and animated. So she's a very exciting person with lots of energy. She enters in haste, carrying a corsage bouquet of flowers and the empty box of paper from which she has unwrapped them. Okay, Mrs. Pringle, you're up.
All right. All right. I've just had word from Mr. Harper, whatever, that he was called away to be beside of a friend who is very ill. He sent me these flowers. It's a good thing he did. I don't approve of young men refusing dinner invitations at the very last minute.
Good. Dunham.
Believing her, I'll take the box.
Wait, you don't actually read this part. That's your action. So basically, you'd be like reaching for the stuff. Like, I'll take that.
Okay. I'll take the box and paper, Miss Pringle.
It's too bad. After you said it all so beautifully and it's getting so late, someone might be coming any moment.
Mm-hmm.
How's Cook? What?
Cook's in the temper, as always, madam.
Do you want me to be Mrs. Pringle, Brian, or are you getting overwhelmed?
I go.
Okay.
I'm glad to hear she's like an actress. The better the temper, the better the performance. As long as she serves us a good dinner, I don't care how much she sweat. Okay. the rest of you can keep out of her way. Where is Gustav?
Gustav.
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 Okay, let's pause and answer this question. Which of the following describes Mrs. Pringle's reaction to the cook's anger? She's irritated because the cook is easily angered. She's afraid that it will upset the guests. She's pleased because it means the cook will make better food. Or she's worried that it will distract the cook from dinner.
C.
C.
I think, yeah, I got that right. Yeah.
Okay. Dunham.
Okay. I'm sorry to have to say it, madam, but there's such an awful blizzard out. He's sweeping off the sidewalk. Mrs. Bryant.
Shut. Dear me, yes, I should have ordered a railing?
An awning. That's one of the things that sticks out over a doorway.
Okay.
A roof-like shelter of canvas that extends over a doorway.
Oh.
Okay. But who expected a storm like this?
She glances out of the window. Elaine, a young debutante in an evening gown, comes running in with a bunch of place cards. A debutante is an upper-class young woman making her first official appearance in society. So back in the day, this is when they got to get courted by the fellas. Here are the place cards, Mother, and the diagram. Shall I put them around?
Yes, dear Elaine. I'm going up to look after your father. He's so helpless about his ties. Remove one plate, dumb.
Remove one plate, madam. Oh, madam, it is certainly you should sit down with 13.
Read this last line again.
You wouldn't sit down with 13.
13? Why? You're right. 13? We can never sit down with 13. That's all due to Mr. 13. Okay, I think I messed that up.
Mr. Harper's negligence.
Mr. Harper's negligence. Sick friend.
Reading.
Sick friend. Nothing. He's just one of those careless men who never answered their invitations in time. His flowers indeed, to make me forgive him. Now look at the trouble he put me to. 13. I wonder whom I could get to come in the last minute. Quick, Elaine, help me think.
Okay, let's look at this question. Mrs. Pringle is upset that Mr. Harper isn't coming to dinner because she must throw out the extra plate of food. She was looking forward to seeing Mr. Harper. She must reorganize the arrangements. She now has an unlucky number for dinner.
I think it's A, but I don't.
Well, okay, let's look back. Remove one plate, madam? Oh, madam, it's a certainty. You wouldn't sit down with 13. Why is that such a big deal? That's what they haven't even eaten yet, so she doesn't have a plate to throw out.
She must reorganize her seating arrangement. So see?
Do you guys not know that 13 is a bad luck number?
Nah.
It's definitely that one. 13 is a superstitious number about bad luck.
Okay, didn't know that.
She rushes to the telephone and looks madly through her list of acquaintances. Elaine. Oh, well, you don't have to read that. There's always Uncle George.
He never opens his head.
This is probably an idiom, and I don't know what that means. Dunham.
Miss Morgan, madam. He always tells a joke or two.
Why? Yes, Dunham. That's clever of you. Hello. Hello, Central Lakeview 5971 at once. Please, Ellen dear. Your hair's much too tight. Pull it up. Pull it up. Come here. Okay, I think I'm lost now. Miss, you know, right, you can just take the rest.
Will you be Elaine then?
Sure.
Mr. Morganswell, this is Mrs. Pringle speaking from across the street. Yes, when Mr. Morgan comes in, please tell him to call me up right away. I want him to dine with us in about 10 minutes. You expect him? She pulls Elaine's hair out to make it look fluffier. Elaine makes faces of pain, but her mother pays no attention. Have him call me right away. She hangs up the receiver. Now, if he shouldn't get it, then what'll I do?
Well, Mother, I don't have to be at the table. It's your party anyway. Everyone's married and older than me.
Then I am.
Then I am.
Pointing at the table in Elaine's hand. Didn't I put you next to Oliver Farnsworth? Millions! He's worth millions!
Well, wait, okay, let me hold on.
Okay, hold on. Let's talk about, that's just very confusing. Sorry, I'm messing around with my little, I don't know how this works, you guys. I just want it to be out of my way. Ooh, no.
Wow.
I'm a special little snowflake over here. Okay. Which of the following describes how Elaine feels about the dinner party? She's excited to be introduced into society. She doesn't care whether she attends the dinner or not. Oops.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't mean to kick that. She's only interested in meeting Oliver Farnsworth, and she's there to meet so many new people at dinner. Apparently, she doesn't care.
Okay, where were we?
Right here.
Well, he won't be giving me anyway.
Can't he marry you? Aren't you going to try and make a good match for yourself? I fling every eligible man I can at your head. Can't you finish the rest yourself?
It's not us, Mother. You're trying to marry me off to anyone's as important as he is. His frightens. He frightens me to death. I lose my tongue. I'm as afraid of him as I'll be afraid of the Prince of Wales.
Wales. The Prince of Wales is the title granted to the heir of the throne of the United Kingdom. The Prince of Wales becomes king when the king or queen of England leaves the throne. So she's so scared of him as she is the crown prince. The Prince of Wales? Oh, what I wouldn't give to have the Prince of Wales in my house. New York has lost its heart to him. I was just telling Mr. Farnsworth yesterday that I'd give anything to have the prince here. I would establish my social position for life. And I have such a reputation for being a wonderful hostess. Did you know? Hello, Mrs. Sedgwick? Yes, this is Miss Pringle. What? No. Oh, caught in a snowdrift? Can't get another car? She goes over the telephone, speaks to Light.
No.
Good, the widow can't come. That leaves us 12. Remove 2 plates, Dunham. Dunham removes 2 plates, and Elaine changes the table cards. Mrs. Pringle continues into the telephone. Oh, that's a shame. I'm heartbroken. Oh, my dear, how can we do this? But have you really tried? Oh, I'm reduced to tears. Goodbye, dear. She hangs up the receiver and takes it down again. Well, I'm glad she dropped out. Central, give me Lakeview 5971. Dunham, with 2 less, you can save 2 cocktails and at least 4 glasses of champagne. Has Mr. Morgan come in yet? Well, don't give him the message I said before about crossing the street to Mrs. Pringle's for dinner. It's too late. You understand? Well, anyway, I'm invited Clem, returned my indebtedness, and received my champagne besides. She is
Look at you,
excitable
look.
woman. Mrs. Pringle is happy that Mrs. Sedgwick can't attend dinner because she no longer has an unlucky number of guests. She
Yes.
doesn't truly like
Yes.
Mrs. Sedgwick.
A,
Didn't have enough food to feed Mrs. Sedgwick, or
A,
A.
she doesn't think Mrs. Sedgwick would something.
A.
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 This
A.
Done.
Now look at us getting low, madam. With what? With whoa,
Prohibition.
prohibition and entertaining so much.
But mother, if you
Hold on.
only have 12 people.
Hold on. Prohibition is the time from 1920 to 1933 when it was illegal to make or sell alcohol in the United States. So, kind of like right now, where we're running out of stuff, so you have to like ration your toilet paper. They were probably running out of liquor.
Or use a sock.
What? What'd you say, Aki?
I said, or use a sock.
Ew. Elaine.
But mother, if you only have 12 people, father can sit at the head of the table.
But he has to sit at the head. He looks too undignified when the man of the house is pushed to the side. So undignified is appearing. Elaine.
There's no other way. There must be a woman at each end.
Distraught, deeply upset and agitated. How absurd! I always forget. Of course, 12 is an impossible number. She goes around the table looking at the place cards. I don't want to put any of these women at the head. There's Mrs. Darby, such a cat, I wouldn't give her the honor of, and Mrs. Answer it, Dunham.
Yeah, Dunham.
Hold on, Dunham. How do the characters react to the possibility of having 12 dinner guests? They're angry that so few people are now coming to dinner. They're relieved because they didn't have enough alcohol to fill their guests. They're upset that Mr. Pringle won't be able to sit at the head of the table, or they are sad because Mr. Pringle won't be able to join them for dinner.
It's A or D.
See?
Nah.
They are upset that Mr.
Yeah,
Pringle won't be at the head of the table. Yeah,
No,
Wait.
it's A or D, Brian. You tripping.
right here. Father
Oh,
can't
D.
sit at the head of
What
the
I
table, but he
Okay.
has to.
Yeah, D.
No, C.
No,
Ow,
no,
what I
big
say,
D.
boy? What
No,
I say?
big D.
Hey, Dunham, answer my phone.
Hello,
Dunham, where you at?
Mr. Pringle's residence, a message. Yes, sir. What, sir? Mr. Darby, the doctor says your baby has the chicken pox.
Chicken pox? Elaine!
Mother!
Yes, sir. Mr. Darby sends his apologies, but I want to,
Transmutability.
Yeah, transmutability. Transmutability
Pages.
of the disease. Miss and Mrs. Darby feel a little
Obliged.
obliged to regret and also the house guests, Mr. and Mrs.
Fleetwood. That's 4 out!
Then you're only 8. Quick, the plates, Dunham.
She begins to remove chairs and gathers up silver and plates feverishly, feeling or showing extreme excitement or energy. Mrs. Pringle, getting more and more distraught, helps. With so much unaccustomed help, Dunham gets confused and goes through many unnecessary motions, removes plates, breaks them, drops silver, aimlessly trying to hurry. His finger is all thumbed. Dunham, get yourself together. Don't we know someone to invite last minute?
The Hutwoods.
They don't serve drinks when they entertain. I can't afford to invite them to drink mine.
All of these eggs.
Shut up.
The Greens.
She's not interesting enough.
Miss Conley?
Mr. Conley?
Conley?
He never makes a dinner call, even after all the times I've invited him.
Where is our book? The Tupper?
What? You're right here, buddy.
Hester, whatever.
Longley, not at the same table with you and Oliver Farnsworth. She is far too pretty and too clever.
Okay, where's our book? The literary Tuppers?
The Tuppers? Heavens, Elaine, 6 in the family. What? Which of the following describes how Mrs. Pringle reacts to Elaine's suggestions for dinner guests? She is very picky about who attends their dinner party. She is open to anyone who can make it to the dinner party. She's angered that Elaine doesn't know who to invite. She is relieved by all of the suggestions that Elaine gives.
A or C?
Exactly. It's A or C.
She's very picky. And if you can look at all these suggestions, the Hatwoods, they don't serve drinks. The Greens, she's boring. Conley, never comes. Longley, nope, too pretty. You gotta make that guy like you. The Tuppers, too many people. Elaine.
All right, that would give us back to 14. Then father could sit at the head of the table.
Well, try them. I'll rush and tell your father to hold up the drawing room.
Okay. Thank you, Skipper. This is Ellen Pringle. What Tupper am I speaking to? Oh, Ella. Hello. I hope you haven't finished your dinner. We had a party arranged here, and the last moment everybody's been dropped out. The blizzards. Can you lock your family around the corner and eat with us? Mother and I thought we knew you well enough to call you like this at the 7th hour. You wouldn't. Oh, fine.
Oh, fine.
Mm-hmm.
She's excited.
Okay. Okay. 6 more plates, Denim. Okay. What? Oh, well, but okay. Done. Get mother quick. Okay. Yes, of course. Love it. Why? Certainly. Huh?
Certainly.
Certainly. Yes, my dear. All right.
She hangs up the receiver and puts her head to her hand with an ejaculation of dismay, like, oh!
Oh, ejaculation. Yeah.
That is a very weird way to phrase that. Yep, written a long time ago, meant something different. Great Caesar, now what have I done? What's the matter, Elaine? What is?
Now I've done it. I've just done it, but I couldn't get out of it. I just couldn't. You weren't there. I always lose my head and bungle things.
That means carry out a task clumsily.
Okay.
But what? Don't keep us waiting like this. What is it?
I invited Ella and the family, and she accepted it. And then she said they had 2 house guests, and would it be all right? And of course, I said it would be. Now we're 16.
16. But madame, the table is not that long.
Elaine! That's just like you. No tact. No worldly wisdom. If I'd been on the phone, I'd politely said that my table...
But you weren't at the table.
At the phone.
Okay. What now?
You
What's that?
to attend.
You ought to attend such messages yourself. You know I always lose my head.
But the dishes, madam, and we only have 14 scraps.
What is that? The flesh of a young pigeon served as main course.
Ugh.
Dude,
They only have enough food for 14.
I won't eat any.
I
But I
will.
will not be disgraced. We'll have to make the best of it and insert another board. Dunham goes out. Mrs. Pringle and Elaine hurriedly remove part of the cloth. Why is Mrs. Pringle determined to make all of the guests fit the table? She doesn't want Elaine to be embarrassed at her party. She truly wishes everyone to attend the party. She thinks it will reflect badly on her if she does not. She's excited by the idea of the something.
See?
See?
Definitely see.
Okay, Elaine. Where am I? But mother, I needed
Needed.
sit at the table.
You are going to sit next to Oliver Farnsworth. Now I don't
No.
want to hear another word about it.
Damn.
Get out.
Okay, but can we squeeze them in without all the work of adding another board? If I move the plates and chairs closer?
Have you forgotten that Mr. Tupper weighs something like 250 pounds? And Mrs. Pringle has no waistline. It can't be done. She called them fat.
The cook is in the highest rage. Madam, she said she has only prepared for 14.
I can't help it. She'll have to prepare for 16. Tell her to open cans of soup and vegetables and... Dunham, where'd you go?
But the ice cream forms in the gelatin mode.
I'll pretend I don't like them.
And I'll pretend I'm on a diet. How do Elaine and Mrs. Pringle hope to remedy the lack of food available? They will only give some guests food. They will not eat some of the food. They will make the portions smaller for each person. They will tell Mr. Pringle not to come to dinner.
B.
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 Okay. But I really wouldn't have to be at the table.
Man, Elaine really doesn't want to go to this dinner.
Nope.
Be still. The telephone. Now what? Don't answer it. It's driving me mad. Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Pringle. Oh, yes. Jessica. What? The blizzard? You're cold? Too dangerous? She waves to Dunham not to put the board in the table. Dunham, Elaine, and Mrs. Pringle are delighted and relieved, but Mrs. Pringle pretends to be otherwise over the telephone. Oh, Jessica, you poor dear. Yes, your husband's right. It would be foolhardy. Put on a mustard plaster. Hot toddy? Love it. So sorry. There, that's wonderful. Now we are just 14.
Okay, but the cards are all wrong. Only 6 are coming who were invited originally. You'll have to make another diagram. How do you want them seated? Oh my Lord.
So back in the day when they used to have these like planned out dinner parties, everybody would have like a place card and it was very intentional where they put each person. Give it to me. She remains at the telephone table where there's a pad and a pencil and makes a new diagram.
Okay, here are some fresh cards.
She tears up the old cards, then goes back to help Dunham, who is having a maddening time with the table. Dunham, you are just distraught. What a mess! I spent hours over that diagram. So much depends on guests having guests seated harmoniously, which means marked by agreement and feeling, attitude, or action. There's the front door bell. Dunham, I told Annie to answer it for you, but go, peek in the drawing room and tell me who it is. Mrs. Telephone rings. Mrs. Pringle eyes it suspiciously. You murderous instrument! What have you to say? Now what? Hello? Who, Mr. Farnsworth? Oh, Mr. Oliver Farnsworth. No, you're his secretary. He's what? Instructed you to make his excuses. He had to leave for Boston at once on very important business. Oh, He hangs up the receiver without completing the conversation and hits the telephone in its then rises and paces back and forth in a rage. How dare he? How dare he? Last moment like this, no regard for a hostess's feelings, no regard for the efforts, and she goes to provide an evening enjoyment. Such a good dinner I planned. He would come business. I don't believe it. He'd want to exert himself. He was afraid of freezing in the blizzard. As if he didn't have half a dozen limousines to carry him to the door. Selfishness, downright rudeness, and worth millions. Just a match for you, Elaine, and I was bound you should meet him and sit next to him at the table. And now I don't know when I can give you a chance like that again. I'm perfectly furious. I'll never speak to him again. I won't be treated that way.
Okay, perhaps.
Rachel is upset that Oliver Farnsworth will be attending dinner, has more money than her family, will not be attending the dinner, is not bringing anyone with him to dinner.
C.
Still all the above answer.
Wow, this is so much longer, y'all.
Can we just quit?
Wow, we just did like 9 questions.
All right.
It's
Perhaps.
only 13.
Elaine, timidly, like,
Perhaps he really did have business and was called away.
and I, one of the most important hostesses in this city, people clamoring to receive my invitations. All of my affairs are a success. I insist that they shall be. I can't bear a failure. I won't have a failure. He was my most important guest. He's such a man's man, so important financially. Every other man considers it an honor to meet him. And now not coming, I am furious. Furious. It's all a blizzard.
All right, now I will have to stay away from the table. He's not coming. He's not coming. Makes us 13 again.
Go to bed. Go up to the nursery. I'll send you milk.
But mother, it's really my fault that he had business.
Not my fault.
It's not my fault that he had business out of town.
Yes, it is. You'd perk up a bit and not be so timid and make something of yourself. He would hear about your attractions from other men and be curious to meet you himself. Oh, what a family I have. No one to help me with my ambitions. Go to bed. Certainly won't sit down 13. Go to bed. Get out of my sight.
Bruh, you're just using your kids, man.
He is intense. Why does Mrs. Pringle blame Elaine for Oliver Farnsworth cancellations? Elaine doesn't try hard enough to charm men. Elaine encouraged Oliver not to come to dinner. Elaine knew about Oliver's other business. Elaine isn't pretty enough to attract men's attention.
Because Elaine was like, nice, senpai. And she got mad.
All in the above.
All of the above. I think it's
Hala.
because she's saying, like, you're so timid, make something of yourself. And he would hear about how great you are. Yep. Dunham enters. Dunham.
Oh yeah. It was Miss Morgan, madam.
Mr. Morgan! But I telephoned his name to tell him not to come.
He couldn't have received the second message, madam. But I heard him explaining to Miss how happy he was to receive the telephone invitation.
Elaine.
Where I'm at, that makes you 13 again. Unless you don't want me to go to bed.
Of course I don't want you to go to bed. We're back to where we started. 14, Dunham.
Oh my god.
I get the cocktails ready, madam.
I need some chocolate waffles. Oh my god.
Orders making their way through the stuff. It's late now, and the cook's swing about the dinner getting too dry. Telephone rings.
Telephone rings.
I won't answer it.
I should say not. Hello? What is it? Yes, Miss Tupper. Yes, Mrs. Tupper. But now you must come. We're prepared for you. Yes, for 8 of you. Your daughter told my daughter about how your house guests were delighted to have them. But now we're set for you. But every plate is set. But your daughter was quite right.
Oh.
It wasn't an imposition at all. But you must come now. Of course, my daughter had authority to invite the guests. Oh, 8 isn't at all big a number. There's room. The table is all set. But I beg of you. But my dear, you are not imposing. How foolish of you to take that stand. Why, my dear. Now, what do you think of that? Mrs. Tupper is perfectly furious at Ella for telling you about the house guests and says Ella had no tact. That's nothing would induce her to bring 8 when we invited 6. But she's leaving Ella and Henry at home. Only 6 are coming. Remove 2 plates done and we're 12 after all.
But if you leave at 12, Father can sit at the end. At the end.
Exhausted, harassed, angry, and tempestuous. Strong and conflicting emotions.
Why?
I shall go mad. I'll never attain again. Never. People ought to know whether they're coming or not. But they accept and regret and accept. They drive me wild. This is my last dinner party, my very last, a fiasco, an utter fiasco, a haphazard crowd hurrying together when I had planned everything so beautifully. Now, how shall I
Get out of my room.
if I put Mr. Tupper here and Mrs. Connolly there, Mrs. Tupper has to sit next to her husband, and if I want Mr. Morgan there, oh, it's impossible. It's impossible. I might as well put their names in a hat and draw them out at random. Never again. I'm through. Through with society, through with parties, with friends. I wipe my slate clean. They'll miss my entertainment. They'll wish they'd become more considerate. After this, I'm going to live by myself. For myself. I'm not going to be selfish and hard and unsociable and drink my liquor myself instead of offering it gratis. The whole town. Through with men like Oliver Farnsworth. I don't care how rich they are, how influential they are, how important they are. They're nothing without courtesy and consideration. Business. Nuts. Didn't want to come. Want to meet a sweet, pretty girl and you want to marry her. Is it good enough for you? Don't marry him. Don't you dare marry him. I won't let you marry him. Do you hear? If you try to elope or anything like that, I'll break it off. Yes, I would. Oliver Farnsworth will never get recognition from me. He's beneath my notice. I hate Oliver Farnsworth. What just happened?
I do not know.
Which of the following describes how Mrs. Pringle reacts to the changes of who is attending dinner? She's frustrated because they've returned to 12 guests.
No.
Angry because the Tuppers decided not to attend. She's happy
What the?
because they are back to 14 guests. She's glad that Oliver Farnsworth isn't coming because she never liked
None of the above.
him.
C. No. C.
They're not at 14, they're at 12.
So
I
A?
know.
A.
Yeah.
She's making up all this nonsense about how she hates Oliver Farnsworth because she's just throwing a tantrum.
I have to read again.
Gate.
A note from Mr. Farnsworth.
A note from Mr. Farnsworth?
That's a lot of words. Yes, madam, there are 2 strange gentlemen in the lower hall. They presented this letter. He said he was the secretary of all the other guests upstairs in the drawing room. Madam, I counted 12 in all, including you and Mr. Pringle and Miss Eileen. But the 2 gentlemen downstairs are waiting for you. The one gentleman's face looks very familiar, madam, but I just can't place him. Although I'm sure I've seen his face somewhere.
Mrs. Pringle, she's been reading the note and is almost fainting with surprise and joy. Seen his face? Somewhere? Oh my goodness, Elaine, it's the Prince of Wales!
The secretary says you cut off the telephone or simply the connection. He was about to tell you that Mr. Farnsworth knew the blizzard had prevented His Highness from keeping an engagement way uptown.
The Prince of Wales? Sitting in my lower hall waiting for me to ask him to
Mrs. Bryant.
Okay.
describes the way the Prince of Wales describes why the Prince of Wales is attending Mrs. Pringle's dinner party. He has heard about Elaine and wishes to meet her. He's an old friend of Mrs. Pringle's. He was asked to attend by Oliver Farnsworth. He heard about what a great host Mrs. Pringle was.
D.
E.
D.
No, C. It's not C? Oh, sir.
It's C. Elaine.
Shut up. Okay, then we'll be
Bro,
13 again.
Who's
What
coloring?
the?
bro,
Girl,
chill out.
Miss, he is his bodyguard.
who's drawing all over my thing?
Afi.
That is not me. What do you mean?
Okay, then it's Afi.
Oh.
Yo, what? Alright, man.
Mrs. Pringle, certainly the secretary. Elaine, we shall be 14 at dinner. Serve the cocktails. Donald. The guest may sit anywhere they choose. I shall bring the prince in with me.
Okay.
Elaine.
But mother, wasn't it nice of Oliver? I can't see. Oliver Farnsworth to send a prince his place.
Didn't I always say that Oliver Farnsworth was the most considerate of men?
Didn't she just say about him?
Yep.
This girl cuckoo.
Yep.
Ellen. Okay, I think I should like Mr. Farnsworth.
Silly child, it's too late now to like Mr. Farnsworth. It's time to like the prince. I always managed somehow to be the most successful hostess. Thank God for the blizzard.
Ha ha ha.
Which of the following best describes why Mrs. Pringle thanks the blizzard at the end? It's the reason the Prince of Wales is in her house. It means all her guests must stay longer. It kept the guests away long enough for her to change seating arrangements.
Hey,
Elaine realized she has feelings for Oliver Farnsworth.
Hey.
Hey. Hey, guys, we read a thing. All right, why don't you do these assessment questions?
What? Can you put it into Google Classroom so we can
The
just
people who
get
did,
there?
the people who read don't have to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? I just, let's see, due date Thursday.
So we still have to do it even though we read?
You just have to answer the question.
That's a lot.
The devil's a liar.
Common lit, so you guys can just go.
Oh, but I can't do that.
Why?
I can't love in the clever.
Maybe you're doing it wrong. You just log in with your CCS information.
Nah,
Can you just put that thing on Google Classroom or something like that?
I mean, I can put a link, but it's still gonna make you log in with Clever.
Yeah,
I
I can log in the clever. That's the thing.
Yes, you can, Marshawn.
I literally keep trying.
Oh, what?
So are we gonna start using Zoom?
What?
Are we gonna start using Zoom?
Yeah.
No.
Why no?
I hate Zoom.
Why?
Cause I just hate it.
She doesn't want to show her face.
Shut up, Offie.
Yeah, can we go back to Google Meet?
You don't have to show your.
Better.
You literally don't.
It's better.
Hi.
I don't know. I like this better because when I'm sharing my screen, I can still see all of you.
Come here, be on
Okay.
Get out.
Afi,
What?
what was you eating?
I'll eat these good ass chocolate waffles, bro.
Avi, did you just wake up like 11?
Yes.
Say, I
I
woke up.
woke up as soon as that dude texted me.
Yeah, I told him to wake up.
Good for
I
you.
told Bailey to join.
I told Bailey to join too.
No.
No.
And I told the other Ariel to join, but she sleep.
She does. Okay, so let's see what I have going on right now. The heck? One friend. Marshawn, I'm supposed to be helping you with your essay right now.
I thought the essay was due.
When are you gonna grade our essay?
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow.
Are you going to grade it for this quarter?
That was the plan, yeah.
Mom, it's gonna be tomorrow, okay?
Madam Williams, she won't answer my text.
It's gonna be tomorrow.
She said it sent her a private text.
Great.
I did, and she won't answer.
That's tough.
Okay, we're gonna do ELA Thursday at 2.
Thursday at 2?
Yeah.
Zoom?
Alright.
Okay.
Okay. I still think you're clever.
Class over?
Get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
I don't really know.
Alfie, what are you doing, dude? Alfie.
What are you doing?
I will post this video so that if you guys can review it.
This man chewing on scissors.
Okay.
Hey, remember that's not how we use scissors.
Mm-hmm.
All right, kids. Marshawn, I guess you stay.
Can I stay?